guys know it is Drunken Chat, son.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is It's Drunken Chat, son. I am your boy, Chitlins, Greens, and Cornbread on the Comic Crusaders Network. I am joined by one of the greatest talents in the new comic world, Sir Christopher the Greatest. How's it going, my boy?
How you doing, man?
Good, 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 good.
I'm
Just
doing
one doing fantastic. I see.
ex. Yeah, bro. Feeling great right now. But it's been this week has been kind of like I don't know. I felt a couple pluses in the comic book world this week. Like after seeing the newer trailer release for Superman, I know that was like a big point this week. And then there's a couple of other things that I thought was significant. So I want to go over them this week. So
All right, yeah, we can definitely do that, man. I am one of those guys that I try and stay away from trailers because there used to be a time when even if you saw the trailer, you didn't know what the fuck was going on in the movie until you actually got the freaking movie. Now they tell you more than half the freaking movie and what the fuck is going to happen. And if you're a freaking erratic like me, you know line by line what people are going to say, what's freaking happening. And it's fucking unenjoyable. So I try to avoid some of these trailers nowadays. But before we get into the craziness of the week, let's go ahead and get a shout out to you, the people, the listeners. GTK Comics, Derek Newman says sneak attack, yes sir, and Wookiee Fodder 80. Man, had I been thinking about this, I probably would have at least sent you a link to see if you wanted to come in so we could talk some Andor because these last couple episodes, I think, which were the final episodes, were pretty damn fucking good. Um, what's going on beyond? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? But let's not freaking stall the freaking what's going on. Let's go ahead and freaking get into it. So, what's going on? There we go. First up, you said you wanted to talk about The Last of Us, built on the hit freaking game, video game. No zombies, apocalypse, man, but it's got so much freaking going on with the rest of the freaking story. What did you want to talk about, man? That hasn't already been said about this. Go ahead, man.
all right, I'm gonna be honest, dude. The show honestly has been great, but it's been a lot of different, I want to say like differences in the show and the game. Especially how the dynamics of the relationships that they've been exploring in the series. So, like one of the biggest ones that I kind of wanted to talk about is the point that after Joel died, pretty much, he had that brutal fucking death in episode 2, right? Um, Ellie finally gets a chance to catch up with some of the people responsible for Joel's death, right?
Yeah,
So I feel like the way that they did it in the show is pretty. I like it. It's pretty dope. And even like I think this next episode we're getting ready to dive into. I'm probably guessing that the next episode will be filled with maybe the psychiatrist or psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever she is to Joel, and we're gonna get a lot of flashbacks in this episode, right? So I'm eager to see that, but I'm kind of waiting for the ultimate showdown now. It kind of has me geeked up, where I want to see Abby and Ellie come face to face and handle this business. You know what I mean? um when we caught up with this girl, dude, I just thought that how Ellie handled that, dude, that shit was so brutal. And you can tell that Joel means a whole hell of a lot to her. You know what I mean? Because throughout
right.
the episode they came face to face with dying on multiple occasions, when they were in the factory and they had all those smart zombies, and that was like almost a for sure death thing about it. After listening to some of the showrunners that created this show, this season and this episode in particular, um they hit on that after the episode. So when I watched that director's kind of cut on it, about the episode, it did give me a different kind of like insight to what they were trying to present in this episode, right? So they try to kind of show how Ellie is like, um, she's taking charge in a way, she's kind of directing. Um, I forgot the girl's name that she's with, but now they have this whole little love relationship going on, and we find out that she's pregnant, right? So now Elliot's taking kind of like a, more of a guarded approach to this, her friend, that's her best friend, right? And throughout the episode, we get to meet another group of, I don't want to call them savages just because they got bow and arrows, but it's kind of like this religious group, right? We've gotten to that
What's going on, Adam, the comic pimp?
Well, I'm happy now that my computer decided to stop being a bitch.
Well, glad to have you. We are talking about the HBO Max series, The Last of Us. I'm not sure. Was it
It's
the final
amazing.
episodes?
Yeah, did you see the last episode?
I'm caught up. I have a crush on the actress that plays Dina,
Yeah,
and she's also going to be playing Hawk Girl in Superman. So I'm watching every week.
Yeah, that's the girl. That's her name, Dina, the one that is basically like in a love triangle between Ellie and then the other guy. I forget his name too, but
His name is Jesse.
okay, so Jesse, they got this kind of like love triangle going
And they
on.
have a three-way love baby.
Yeah, Dina's pregnant, so I was just talking about how Ellie's that protective role with her, like that kind of guarded out role. Like even though it's not her kid, she's just as excited about it as if it were her own. So I thought that was kind of cool how they kind of showed that on the screen when you had all these smart zombies that was about to basically kill them because she already had trouble just fighting one of them, and there was like several, so it's kind of dope. I like how they're doing it. And then when you catch up with one of the people responsible for Joel's death, the girl, dude, we have this elaborate chase of her through this hospital or this, where basically Joel nearly rescued Ellie. Well, he did, rescued Ellie from them basically cutting her open and doing all this shit. So she finally returns to this factory or this area and caught up with these people. So instead of like just flat out slaughtering her, right? She kind of like tortures her, like at towards the end. So you know, they went to like a forbidden area of this facility that they have basically locked off because it's infected, right? The girl that we picked up from in the beginning of the show, the Asian lady, and she lost her son by sending a faction down there to try to see what was down there and see what was going on, but they never returned. So they answered that towards the end of the episode when Ellie is chasing this girl through the facility and she chases her into this forbidden area. And you also see the Asian lady's son necessarily still alive, but of course he's like all zombied out and everything. So, you know, I just think the whole dynamics of it is dope. So
I also think that the decision that LA makes is going to have some negative consequences because they don't show what happened to Dina and Jesse. After are we doing full spoilers? By the way, I'm assuming. Well,
yeah,
fuck it. You can all send me the hate mail. Send it to the comic pimp, baby. Uh, when that one terrorist group just shoots an arrow for Dina's leg, which made her go in that decision to get to the hospital in the first place.
yeah, I was just
Uh,
talking about that group too, because that's the like religious cult like group from the
yep.
game, and I also think it's dope how we like meet them and they have you finally basically see from the previous episode on why these guys were hanging and had their guts spilled all out. You find out that that is from the cult like group that's involved into this whole situation and dynamic now, and it's kind of some brutal like shit. for what they're doing. They're pretty much hanging people and then cutting their stomach open and basically letting their intestines fall out. So it's kind of like a brutal showing. So when we saw that, I think it was what in the first was it in the first episode or was it episode 3
I think it
that
was
we
the first time I met them was because that was the episode where the priest with the little girl and that whole little crew got slaughtered. So yeah, I think that might have been episode 3 was where we meet them for the first time.
yeah. So but this show's been dope. So
I
I'm
love it. I also think that uh, you know if you want to pick up some comics to go along with it, Dark Horse did a prequel back right around the time of the first game, which had about I think 4 issues with various
Yep.
printings that they were a spec darling back in the day, and they still go for decent money.
Yep. So that's actually what I got up right now is The Last of Us. It's called American Dreams. That's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Um, Several sales have gone in between 76 for like a 9.4 to like an 8.5, and then there was a weird lot where it was just like the $2 issue one and number two, and that was for like 125 if I'm
Fuck
not
that
mistaken.
lot.
Yeah, so
That's because I was
yeah,
beating, and that's the one I lost.
yeah. So yeah, there's a weird thing where we're not in a territory where we can tell exactly where the prices are because it's either CGC'd and it's a very low grade or something like that, or it's a
Maybe I know.
weird
I don't know about you because
9.0.
I've been noticing that they've been fluctuating.
Yeah. So you know, we know what the people are thinking. We know what I know what you're thinking. No, hey, is this going to be the next Walking Dead freaking comic that is out there, and then all of a sudden it's going to go boom? It's going to go freaking thousands of dollars. I think if we were going to think like that, then we needed to see Pedro
Excuse
Pascal
me,
for a little bit more time.
Lucas. Can I
Yeah.
make a suggestion? Because I have friends of mine I won't plug the website here, but they are doing a signing with Pedro Pascal, and
Hmm.
this would be it. I think anything from a 9.4 graded signed by Pascal, you could basically ask your price. Because how many signings does he actually do?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, I'm, I am not advocating anybody freaking
And
investing this
just
buck
just
right
so to
now.
protect my fat dumb blind ass, this is for entertainment purposes only.
But I am seeing first prints, VS 35, $39.
Damn.
So it hasn't hit yet, and there's uh, it looks kind of weird. So here's an interesting thing. There's a Mexican variant, and it looks like oh yeah, there's the Mexican variant, and then there's another cover. I forget which one it is. It's got both her and the girlfriend on there. I forget which cover that is, but there it is, man. Chris, what else did you want to talk about? Last of Us.
that's pretty much what I had for this one. I'm just looking forward to seeing this next episode because like I said, I'm pretty sure we're about to deep dive into with the psychologist or just straight up with Ellie and get these flashbacks with Joel or Joel and shit that he taught her and all that kind of shit.
Right.
So
Maybe
I'm
we'll actually learn when she was told the truth too.
and I'm also waiting for his brother to get active. Like, are they gonna get him active in this as well? Because some of these characters have been made up in a way for the show, like the psychiatrist herself, the psychologist. Like, she's not a regular character if I don't if I remember correctly. But anyways, um I was wondering if his brother was going to join in on the revenge tour. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. I guess we'll see, man. If you can, yeah. I mean, I always thought it was going to be tough and have some tough episodes without, especially because you just killed the main man. As far as I'm concerned, Pedro, man, they
And
fucking
that
just
comes
killed
straight
him.
from. That also does come straight from the game too.
Yeah. Um, but no, that's what I know. A lot of the ladies stop by for to see Pedro. That's all I give a fuck about. So we'll see
Yeah, but
where it goes
they'll
from
get
there.
plenty of him in flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a shit ton of flashbacks, but I'm wondering, like I said, if his brother, if Tommy is gonna join Ellie in this, revenge tour against Abby. You know,
I'm not sure, man. Just from the way he was talking the last time we saw him on screen, where he's like, I don't want Ellie to go down the same path as Joel. And the way that, to me, the way they made his character, it looks like he's more like the main man of Jackson.
right. That's why I'm wondering, like, is he gonna pop up to prevent her from going down that road, kind of like Joel did? But I'm just saying, like with that whole aspect, his brother just got killed. Pretty sure he's mad about that shit,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
he was actually, like I said, heavily in the game. So I was just kind of surprised that they only gave me these little parts so far when he was actually a deciding factor in the game. You get what I'm saying? So
Great. All right, let's go ahead and move on. The next thing that you have up is Avengers Doomsday. Marvel
yeah.
updates. Good.
All right. So, um, they're filming right now for this film. Okay, and so far we've had a couple of things leaked out, but the latest one is this photo of a giant sentinel. So that lets me know that we'll have some type of sentinels in the film. But I think that can mean a lot of things, like, and where they're gonna go with things from here, because they're gonna soft reboot this entire kind of like ordeal, after Secret Wars is done, and the main focus is gonna be X-Men. So I'm wondering if we're gonna start getting like little tidbits and little nods to things that are gonna happen later on in the future with X-Men. You get what I'm saying? Because
Sure.
another thing that I saw is that Cyclops suit is gonna be 90s animated show direct, basically. So we're gonna get Cyclops in the blue and yellow suit, right? So
Mm,
now that we know we're gonna get like more of a show accurate 90s version of X-Men, right? Are we gonna lead from there, or are they just gonna have this part kind of like the whole 90s demonstration kind of have like a flash in the pan with Secret Wars, and at least give it to us so that they can get past that or whatever, because we've been waiting to see X-Men in their 90s and animated show costumes since the beginning of X-Men movies, right? So
yeah.
I'm just wondering that.
Well, wasn't there a
Okay.
rumor that that either Doomsday or Secret Wars was going to have some animation in it at some point?
Yeah, they talked about that as well. So they
Yeah,
definitely.
they're gonna do little parts of like What If, X Men the animated series, Marvel Zombies, and I mean it'd be cool if they just went through their entire animated history, because I think that Fantastic Four and Iron Man cartoon doesn't get as much love, and they're actually really well produced. Fantastic Four more than Iron Man.
Mm,
Yeah, definitely. But
okay.
just in general, another one of the set photos that I'm pretty sure we'll get sometime soon. But apparently, they're building a set for like some type of out of space demonstration or scenes or whatever they have to do. But I'm ultra interested in that because the people that I'm thinking that are still in space, besides like Photon, where she's in a whole nother fucking universe. But remember, at the end of New Avengers, they basically said that there was like some shit cracking off in space. So I'm wondering if we're going to see this in this scene that they're using this set for. You know?
Yeah. Well, if they do, it gets in. There's all types of interesting stuff they could do because one thing that they've always, and when I'm talking about in the comics, that they didn't really visit. I think they only revisited it once was the first time that the Fantastic Four ever went to the actual like multiverse, right? Um, they were out there, but they went out there without Grimm because some dude he had either amalgamated or he somehow replicated himself to look like Ben Grimm. He goes out there with Reed, right, to the multiverse. They're like, "Oh man, this is fucking fantastic." and then this one random dude is like, "Yeah, man, this is fucking fantastic," and then he just starts fighting Reed for no fucking reason. Reed realizes it's not fucking Ben. He's like, "All right, dude, you got it. I'm gonna leave your ass out here," and he just fucking leaves the fucking dude, like in the middle of like nowhere, in the middle of the fucking multiverse, like no, and they talked about it in the comics like maybe like a couple years ago, but they never revisit like what the fuck actually happened to the fucking dude. So, and that was like what, from the '60s or some shit. So it would be kind of interesting if they that. The other thing that when you talk about the conflict is, um, at some point they do some weird shit with there's this fucking weird conflict that their kids actually get enjoyed up to into, and the kids join this weird freaking group, and that group teaches them a whole bunch of freaking stuff, weird stuff. So I'm wondering. I just wonder. I really don't care about the Fantastic Four too much, but I am kind of wondering like what's going to happen, or how soon are they going to bring up the kids and make the kids like a big freaking thing? That would be interesting to me. Um, I'm
Well,
sorry. What
I
else
would.
were you saying?
I actually have that on one of the slides coming up. It might be the next slide, is it? Where we
Got the
got our
Funko
first look
Pops.
at Franklin Richards. All right. So that tells me, all right, that Franklin is born, all right, either already, which is what I really want to go with, because I'd like to think that, Sue being pregnant, I was hoping that that was for a second time, so that we already have Franklin, and then that would be Valeria on her way. All right. Mostly because, like I said before, I want to see this whole little relationship between Uncle Doom and Valeria. I want to see that shit, but just in general, this is our.
I want to see her have the baby before they go out in outer space, and her leave the baby with Agatha Harkness. That's what the fuck I want to see.
Um, I guess I was going in the other. I was thinking of another babysitter, but if I don't get Alicia Masters, ain't even
No, Mia Khalifa is not going to show
fuck
up in
off.
the Disney movie, man.
What's that?
Mia Khalifa is not going to show up in a freaking
Oh no, I know that.
in a
I just
Disney
want to.
movie.
No, I just want to see the Alicia Masters. Thing's wife.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The blind chick that's married to the Thing,
That would be interesting,
and
though.
she normally does all the babysitting duties to her. For Valeria and
Well, yeah. So yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. She's right now like anytime like the adults go off, she's been babysitting the adopted alien kids,
yeah,
and that's an interesting thing.
and I tell this story all the time. She's one of the reasons I became a fan of comics. So like her Daredevil.
Not even yeah, yeah. That's what I would think. Like Daredevil. I wonder how many blind hair superheroes there are. Blind Adam. You're gonna have to do a blind
Actually, okay,
a Matrix. You're gonna
I
have to
have
do a
a list.
Matrix.
I have a list, and I'll bring it up in a future episode.
Okay, I'll take that.
'Cause I actually wrote an article about an essay on it for a school for the blind. So
Nice.
But either way it goes, bros, I definitely hope that this is what it is. I hope that the reason why he's already a baby is because she's pregnant again. You know what I mean? And that's just so that we can get the
that's
two
because
kids
Susan
faster,
Richards is a
because
jilf.
they do have like a lot of different little roles in Secret Wars as a whole. So
Okay.
Valeria always talks to Doom, so I want to see that relationship play out, because I
And in the
know.
comics, I do love the sibling relationship between Franklin and Valeria too.
Yeah, and I say that all to say this, that after we get done with the Secret Wars, I'm pretty sure we're headed into Annihilation run. As you know, one of the main stories in that is when Johnny Storms, pretty much sacrifices himself, and you get the death of Johnny Storm. Um, in that event, right? And I felt like that was probably perfect material for them to use in the MCU for a story like that. So I could see their build up being like their first movie. Then they help solve the whole Doomsday situation, right? And then we go on, and then they start going back to their classic Fantastic Four shit. fucking around with the negative zone, and
Mm.
we get the whole annihilation wave in storyline because they said Annihilus is coming up. So
So if you're gonna
It
have
also, that would
Nihilus,
also be a great way to bring back the Guardians of the Galaxy too.
yeah, I mean we've already seen the suits in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The suits that movie ended with, that team in, is the Annihilation Wave suits. So with Fantastic Four, they were like one of the biggest pieces of that recipe to bring out that villain, and they want to use that villain before. But from what I'm understanding, this is going to be like a phase villain, like um, over a
Kind of
little
like
bit
the
of
way
the
they had
arc.
Thanos and or you know like that type of the phase type of villain.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a quick one-off, like one film and he's done type shit. I think it's going to be a build-up because they're going to have like this whole little war between the MCU and Annihilus and his Annihilation Wave. So I think that's the direction that they're going to go in, and especially because you can bring in other characters from that story into it, like X-Men and Avengers. You can bring other teams into the fray, and they're already having Ryan Reynolds write another script for teams like X-Force and things like that, supposedly, right?
they better shut that shit down. This motherfucker, I'm telling you right now, if that's what they're doing, instead of him, they can have him pitch. They can have him pitch, but they better shut until he gets his shit straight with his wife and everything. They better shut that shit down right now.
Yeah,
Mickey
Because
Mouse ain't doing that.
the little
Mickey,
rumor that
Mickey
I
Mouse
heard
is a
about it
oh
was
boy,
fucking he
Ryan's
was
gonna make me the fucking money. Oh boy, Ryan, get to fucking work. I don't care about your bitch wife Blake. Oh boy, make my fucking
you,
damn
you you
money.
done, you done.
yeah.
What were you saying, Chris?
No, I was just saying, I forgot now, but I'm just saying, like, I know they're going with this whole Annihilation storyline. With the Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds shit, I mean, I know it's some bullshit going on right now, but the last little rumor I saw about it was that he was currently writing an X-Men team-up film script. That's the
Shit.
last fucking thing I heard. But I know for a fact that they're, 9 times out of 10 right now, casting fucking X-Men that are like more along the line of teenager and young adult people to play these roles right now because we keep getting like different things revealed that, you know, I guess people that they're seeing on set and all type of shit for Doomsday, right? So that was one of them too. But I just think of all that starting with Franklin Richards and Valerian, then all the shit with Future Foundation and She-Hulk and all that. All that shit could fit in while we're on our way to Annihilation Wave, or Annihilation, whatever the fuck they end up calling it.
Yeah, I get your excitement. Like I get your excitement, and however, I don't think the Disney execs would see your vision, and I think that they would kind of feel like going too cosmic would be a money killer, right? Because not only are you, because you're already taking a big enough, um, a big enough jump with characters that people don't know, right? Um, no, it's too big, right? If you're gonna do stuff, you gotta do stuff with things that people know or characters that people know. And this is that the whole nihilist thing is a little too much. Like they even tried it in some of the cartoons and whatevs, and it's just not sticking. Um, and you can only take some of these characters like out of the Earth realm for too long before everybody's like, yeah, nah, nah, nah.
Excuse me, perfect
But
example: Spider-Man. Everyone's, what I'm saying, was really excited to see, wants to see Spider-Man versus Kingpin with Daredevil. So
Mhm.
I don't understand
I
why
still
they're
think that's
doing this one more day thing. Even though I have heard from, and I think even Vincent D'Onofrio even confirmed it himself at some point that they have to try to figure out some legality because I don't think he's allowed to be in a full on Sony movie.
Mm.
because of certain TV rights. Uh, Chris, anywhere in the slides you get to the one piece of Marvel Cinematic News that I'm most excited because I'm finally allowed to talk about it.
What?
Kristen Ritter coming back as Jessica Jones.
I know that's coming back, but you know, it didn't make all the Jessica Jones books spike or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I just I didn't put it on here because the next one that I have up is actually for Ironheart because
Yeah,
we've been waiting
okay.
for Mephisto since fucking WandaVision, right? And finally got the name drop in Agatha. So a lot of people are reporting that it is Mephisto that Sacha Baron Cohen is playing. Um, but then I did see a rivaling, like kind of rumor as well that he'd be playing a version of Dormammu. But I want to stick with Mephisto, and I want to know what you guys think on this.
I think, from what I know about the Agatha Harkness show, none of those are correct.
What?
And I'll leave it at that.
You don't think either one is in there, bro?
if if they're trying to do continuity and all that stuff, and watching the Agatha Harkness show and knowing what I know, in fact, I think you even talked about one of the freaking books. It was like the Thor Annual number 10 from way back in the freaking day. Yeah, Mephisto had nothing to do with that. So I think we'll leave it at that while I keep freaking stacking some of these books.
You know what? I'd like to see him finally, you know, pull the trigger and finally get Mephisto in there because how many times are they going to be able to pull this trick
So
before people get tired of it?
so so hold on now. I can say for a fact that in between two books that came out this week, one was um, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer of Asgard, that came out this week, as well as Immortal Thor, whatever it was that came out this week. It feels like they're going a different direction and they're trying to prep people. And I'll leave it at that.
All right, like I said,
I'll leave
that's
it at
too
that.
much. I have not got to either one of those books
And I
yet.
don't, I usually don't get to read as much as I want to, but I was able to get to a few, some damn good stories. Disney came out with some damn fucking good stories this week. In fact,
I agree.
I'm gonna
Unfortunately,
give a shout
Marvel
out.
4 I was not able to
If,
get to.
yeah, in fact, I'm gonna give a shout out to a lot of the most of the freaking publishers this week. I was kind of blown away. I was like, what the fuck? See, some of these are actually coherent, and I haven't picked them up in a while, and the stories were actually fucking coherent. Some of the typefaces were a little fucked up, but I was able to read, understand where they were going, and I see their vision, man, and it's gonna be interesting. Um, yeah, I'm not pushing any books, but I would say definitely read some of the books that came out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then also pay attention to some of the Ultra Maximus freaking matrices. Yeah, matrices from back in the day. You'll see that he talks about some of that shit too. Uh,
The Spec Matrix.
yeah.
Shout
hmm
out to Ultra Maximus. Come out of retirement, bro.
He's just trying to live life, man. He said
Yeah,
he'll be back
I
sooner or
know,
later.
man. I've tried in the last 2 years to get him out of retirement. It's not working.
Yeah.
So, love that
All right.
guy.
So Chris, what do we got here? We got Superman, A Friendship at Least #1, a limited edition Milkbone.
Nah, fuck this book.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people were pissed they couldn't get their hands on this book, but
What is this? What the fuck
Didn't
is this?
so if you bought these milk buns, like dog fucking treats, right? If you
Uh,
bought it, it came with one of these, Superman #1. So I haven't had a chance to check the price on this one, but I definitely thought about it because I want to talk
where
about
were these in
Superman anyway.
PetSmart or some shit?
no. You had to go on the Milkbone website. That was the only way you were able to get them. You had to buy these milk bones off the website, and then you got the comic with it. But they sold out extremely quick because I figured, hey,
DC.
I don't. Even though my dog is in doggy heaven, I figured I was gonna buy about 5 or 6 boxes and then go to the animal shelter and just feed all the give all the dogs treats in the animal shelter and just get a couple of these. No, no. I mean, all dogs
Yeah.
is love. It gives me give me an excuse to go to the animal shelter and look at some
Look,
dogs.
Fox, Bravo, Tango, DC. Fuck this book. Moving on.
Yep.
All right. Right now, you got up a screenshot of uh, an eBay listing
Uh,
for Invisible Universe Battle Beast #1, the 1 to 2000 original
Man,
art sketch cover.
someone
this
pulled
thing
it.
has been selling for crazy. So you see, we got a sale up there of 1,600 is the last sale, and the sale for that is 1,800. Um, I believe there's like 90 of these. I don't know if it's total. I think it might be for each one, but
Hmm.
I'm 110% sure. Like, you know, I don't think every single one has been found because I'm pretty sure they would all be
Of course.
flooded.
Well, so here's the deal, right? People keep forgetting that okay, there's supposed to be some that are in the blind bags, but also if you bought 2,000 units of this shit,
Yep.
you were going to get at least one without even having to go through the blind bag, right? The number so far to come out was that there was like 400,000 sold, right? So
Yep.
you break that down, that means that there's at least 200 of these that were directly printed to get you sent directly to the retailers,
So
right?
yeah.
And that's apart from the stuff that's already in the freaking blind bags. Who knows what's in the fucking blind bags, right? So that's why, and I'm looking at this. It's like, okay, these motherfuckers are selling it for $1,600. When it comes to the cost for some of the retailers, because they had to sell these for
I think that's about cost, give or take.
no, no,
Maybe one
because yeah, if you go 2,000
two
and
dollars times two
say your
thousand.
cost was 50% and it
Yep.
was like 3.99, your cost was like maybe 2.10, $2 10 plus your freaking shipping, right? So let's go with $2 even, right? Just fuck around.
Yeah.
Your cost was $4,000
Okay. Forgive me. I'm on prednisone,
cost,
so
right? Now, I mean that's why people are trying to sell these for like $10 to $15 just to get some of these fucking back, right? And they better
Yeah,
freaking hurry because after 1 2 weeks, everybody will forget about this shit, right? That's why I'm kind of shocked that people are trying to sell it this high right off the fucking bat. But you know, it is what it is, man. Y'all do you, you know.
yeah, that shit is insane, dude. I couldn't believe that it was up that high that quickly. You know,
Yeah.
um, but I thought that the way he drew these, all right, you said there's 200, right? So I could have swore he drew like 90 of maybe the one on the bottom, 90 of the one on the top, and then the other like 10 were like signed ones or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. But um, I just know that was the breakdown. So in reality, it's probably like 100 of these, total, and then 100 of the other ones because it's
No,
200.
there's at least no, there's at least 200. There's at least 200. Just that's remember directly for for retailer incentives. There's at least 200 plus the other ones that are going to go into the blind bags,
Yeah, that's right.
right? So
So
that's
is it 200 of these and 200 of the other ones? Like,
probably more. Probably more.
fuck. And people are
That's
still
why. That's
making
yeah. That's
that
why. Yeah. That's why I'm like I don't see
insane.
people going crazy for that shit. Like fuck.
I sent over. Like I said, I think I give this about a month before, or at least another 2 weeks before the stress to die down. I mean, I'm happy for the excitement for this. This has been a blast all week. Uh, doing rips and ships, and ripping packs. It's been a blast. But I think once everyone gets what they want, uh, and all the milk is out of the tit of the cow,
Yeah. I
and
think.
I
Yeah.
think and I think people are and the ones that people want, you can just get without having to go through the hoops.
Yeah. I think.
Uh,
I think more retailers should do this. Right. I'm totally fine with it.
more,
Instead of
more
us having
publishers should
these.
do this, man.
Yeah, instead of us having these 1 to 100s and 1 to 200s, let's do this. Chris, I don't know if you got to see the hot 10 Excel sheet that I sent you, but the way people are, driving and buying stuff, it doesn't make any freaking sense unless you freaking see the trends. And the trends are not that people should be buying 1 to 100s or buying 1 to 200s or 1 to 2000s. We should actually be going for just single issues, qualifiers, right? We should not be going for incentives higher than 1 in 25. Period.
And
That's
for
it.
I feel
Shadow
it.
Beast, if you want the 1 in 25 or the 1 in 50, they are so fucking cheap. Uh,
Hmm.
on eBay right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
There's
one of those operators for like $10 yesterday.
All right. It's 10:50. Was that it? Was that the last of the thing that you guys wanted to? What did you wanted to talk about?
I think no. I think it's one more slot. It has
No,
to
that
be.
was it. That was the last slide, man.
Then it cut it off. I wanted to talk about Go Collect. And number one, Go Collect now, you can like edit your own fucking prices, right? So a lot of people are worried that people are going to be using this app, to set bullshit, phony fucking prices on books. Not as if they haven't already been doing it with eBay, correct? But, this has been um, pretty popular subject in the last week or so, with this whole Go Collect thing. They just kind of like, I don't want to say released it. I think it's been out for a while, but it just gained that type of popularity so that
Yeah.
everybody's
Well, I mean, it's
on
been
it.
here ever since I've been introduced to the speculating game, which was whenever the hell I freaking met Mel. And the way it would work is all the listings that sold, right? It would come up with at least a baseline, right? Say if a 9.8 sold or an 8.5 sold, it would come up with the baseline, and then it would project what the baselines for each of those other point 0.5s, 1.5, 3.0s, and all that other stuff. It would come up with a baseline projection for that stuff. But if they're and once again, I would have to see what you're talking about because I've always seen Go Collect list um, eBay listings, right? Like if there's a live eBay listing, it's always listed that. But the danger, which I think you're alluding to, is that now they're trying to put some of those eBay live listings into the projections. If they're doing that, that's fucked up. They should not be freaking doing that. That makes no
Somehow,
fucking sense.
the subject of what I saw get brought up is the fact that collectors, I guess, can enter their own sales onto the site or whatever now. Um, so that was the subject of the video. So I just, when I peeped at it, I was like, oh, okay. So people are, I haven't personally been using Go Collect or anything like that. I just use eBay pricing, usually figure out 5 sales, get my average, just go from there. But apparently there's a shit ton of other people, that also use Key Collector and people like that. But this website for pricing, you know what I'm saying? So I guess there was a little controversy over the fact that people are able to enter their own sales and their own prices now, thinking that that would off scale the market and some of those things would alter the prices of the sales. That baseline you were talking about.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. There's the normal stuff. There's like the top week of the golden age, silver age, and then over here there's the available now, right?
Hmm.
But I
No,
don't
go
see.
to go. I guess if you're on the site,
Excuse
then
me,
I guess you would
Lucas,
go.
isn't the way that's always been? Those first three things, Golden Age, Silver Age, and the available now?
Yeah. So
So
what are you
I
saying,
haven't done it
Chris?
for like a while.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about. I guess you're able to enter your own sales now. Okay, like if you sold something somewhere, like you can actually, I guess, somewhere on here. Because my boy Aaron was talking about it over at Joshua Comics, but I guess you can enter sales now. I guess maybe you couldn't do that before. or whatever the case may be. Like I said, I don't really use Go Collect regardless, but I see a lot of people use it for their pricing, when it comes to the books.
Hmm.
So
I don't know.
that's
I guess
that's
we
what
I
I
would have
thought.
to take.
He also had a screenshot of like, you know, the page that it looks like when you enter in this information. So I guess that was something new that they added to it, or you know, maybe before only it went off of eBay sales and other big app sales possibly, and maybe this is the first time I guess they've added it so you can enter your own
Okay, here we
sales.
go. Welcome to. It says here. Let me see if I can blow this up. It says, "Welcome to the inaugural day of crowd-reported sales on GoCollect. Um, GoCollect is now allowing you to record sales directly to your website under a very special new tab we've designed. In fact, think of this tab as more like a portal, a gateway where all of the information you wish was being compiled and recorded. It is now finally being compiled and recorded. What? But it's more than that. That makes no sense. Okay, but this portal has been built for you to maintain, to grow, to steward, and to take pride in. It's yours, unlimited, unfiltered, and built on trust. Okay, heads up. You do need to go be a Go Collector member to enter sales, but guess what? Membership is 100% free. We're talking about recording sales anywhere they take place, and boy, do we ever mean it. Um,
Right. So,
yeah,
because of this, they're thinking that people are going to alter sales and, fuck shit over, basically.
right. I understand the concern, but you're particularly talking about that it's on a tab called the crowd reported sales. It does not indicate so far.
Excuse me, what does that mean in layman's terms?
So just like what Chris was describing, is that anybody anywhere can go in this particular tab, they can bring up the book and they can report their own sale. Right
Can I give an
now,
example, please? So let's say I saw a Golden Age Detective Comics at a convention.
mhm,
In that tab, and it's like a legit sell. I can enter it into that with that tab.
yeah, whether it's legit or unlegit, you can report
Yeah.
on that tab. However, here's the question, and because it doesn't look like I'm looking through it, and it does say any discrepancies are reviewed by our moderation team, and the community itself has the ability to flag any questionable data for further review. Um, each entry includes item sold, grade conditions, final sale price, location and type of sale, date of sale, optional or image uploads or proof of the sale, and a link directly to you or whoever enters the data. Now, because what I'm looking for, and it doesn't look like it's telling you, because the big concern is because once you hit the Go Collect page, bang, the home page, there's a whole bunch of data on there that if you're savvy, then you kind of rely on like what's the freaking hot book, what's the trend, right? Are stuff going down and stuff going up. So what you don't kind of want is the crowd reported sales to affect that other freaking data, right? Because you would think that maybe that data is a little tainted, but here they're trying to say, well, if anybody from the community sees it and think it's kind of funny, then they're going to flag it and possibly just freaking take it off individually. But that's not kind of the way we work, right? And once again, I don't call my speculator, but speculators work. Speculators work by um, difference percentage of the sale as well as volume, right? So if it went from like two one week, and then all of a sudden next week you have 100, people are going to pay attention to that. Um, so it would be kind of freaking hard for people to go, oh man, that's a crazy freaking sale. Well, if it's selling at the same price or maybe just $3 more, but 100 more, that would be kind of something that people might be interested So I don't see any concern yet. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes, and see if how people, because people are going to abuse this shit. That's just the way it's going to fucking be.
People abuse everything nowadays.
But but in the meantime, I don't know. I don't know. Go collects freaking staff. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing it. Because they don't have enough people. They don't have enough sources. And people probably are complaining that the data isn't kept up enough. Maybe that's why they're freaking doing it. But hey, let's see how long it lasts, man. Uh,
Cocolex, the one app I don't use, unless I need a golden age. I need to look up a golden age book real quick.
mhm.
And normally that with some of that, I either go to eBay or Overstreet.
Let me look up this one book. That's how I know the freaking whiskey's hit me. I can't freaking type it right now. I am looking. Why? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the book I'm looking for, is Weird Fantasy number 18.
Aha!
And I'm looking on the Go Collect page, and you know what comes up? Pokemon bullshit. Just Pokemon stuff. Right? Now there are some. It does pull up some listings, some available now listings from eBay for like $350. Whatever. Um, and it's kind of weird. So for those that don't know, it was a dark time in Americans' history where it wasn't just racist; it was like crazy freaking racist, where um, there was a demonization of certain peoples, right? And such that the African American portion of the of the country were not even allowed to be heroes in their comic books unless they were like freaking like jungle fantasy books. One of the first titles that ever had something like that, where you wasn't part of a jungle fantasy or like a king of freaking whatever, and it actually had some type of professional career, was Weird Fantasy number 18. The story goes, it was about an astronaut, and he's exploring this whole freaking planet. And then at the very last panel of the freaking book, the astronaut takes his fucking helmet off and reveals that he's black.
Yep.
Now, when it was sent to the Code Comic Book freaking review board, they went ape shit. They said, "What the fuck? You can't freaking have a black guy and blah blah blah." And they pushed, and the publisher pushed back. This is EC Comics, by the way. They pushed back on it, and somehow they got it through, which is crazy, right? Um, Now it's a historical book, right? Even in if you go to the African American History Museum, they've got that book listed. They've got a copy of the book right there. They can have a whole freaking thing about the fucking book. But as I'm going to go collect, it's not really here. If you go to its competitor, which
One
is
of
what
its competitors,
Key Collector, right?
bitch.
They have it listed as a non freaking key. A historical book
Why?
lesson is a fucking non key for whatever reason, right?
Just one other thing. This is the more important reason why it's a key, but this is also the last published EC comic.
Right.
This is
So
the straw that broke the camel's back.
yeah. So Ghetto Head Productions is referring to Memin Penguin, which was a famous comic book that was absolutely freaking loved within the Latino American community, outside of the U.S. And back in the day, I'm gonna say maybe like 15, 20 years ago, there was a whole bunch of hubbub when all of a sudden African Americans found out about this book, and they had their own little ape shit fit, because they were like, "What the fuck?" Because the features of Mimi Penguin were very similar to Little Sambo. Um, Talking about the watermelon thing, all that freaking shit. However, for the Latin American community, people forget that a lot of the countries outside of America didn't have the same crazy ass freaking history that America did. So they're looking at it like, what the fuck? We don't understand what you're talking about. That's not us. So there was in fact, I think they were trying to put Min Mean Penguin on a freaking stamp. That's what freaking kicked it off, right? So yeah, Universe X talks about Min Mean Penguin. It was like, I've got big lips. I've got a fucking big nose. All my freaking family, and we are freaking African. So, are you just trying to erase us and say that we don't freaking exist? I don't freaking get it, right? Um, so it's what and when people don't understand what I don't have, when folks like Africans and freaking Black Latin Americans don't have the same context or same feelings about the shit that they do. Um, but tis what it is. See, Ghetto Head Prediction says he bought a stack of them in a Tijuana bookstore. Yeah, yeah, it's the nice thick books. They're pretty they're pretty fucking funny too. Oh, and I remember a fucking I remember I was on a show with Laura from Bird City Comics and Lucy from Mama Comics, and we were actually talking about African American history. It was like African American history, and we were talking about some freaking top books. And I brought that fucking book up, and they were not happy. I was like, "Hey, it's a great fucking book, man." Um, James, let's go back to what we were here to talk about. James Crater Brains is saying, letting people put unverified outside sales into the database as fact is a recipe for pumping up an artificial price inflation. I agree with it, but it all depends on which parts of the site that it actually affects. Is it like it's because it sounds like it's its own tab right now, right? If it's just its own tab, that's whatever. But if the tab affects the home page, which has, let's see, let me go back to that one page. It's got this week's hot list and chart busters, and what else has it got? Comics, comics CPI. So if it starts affecting that stuff, then absolutely freaking, it's definitely just key for abuse. Hey, what's going on, Universe X? Just saying, sup up,
Universe X, what's up,
jumping here.
brother?
What's up, my boy? Let me grab something to drink.
Oh, ready to testify?
You should have been got something to fucking drink, bitch. What the fuck you talking about? I'm getting something. You should have been. You should get me a replacement drink, but not just now getting yourself fucking something to drink. All right, so let's move on from the bullshit. Let's start talking about some of this week's new releases. I didn't really get a chance to really look at the top 10 list. In fact, I was hoping that I could have freaking pulled up the pivot table, but looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. But let's get into some of the ones that just came out this past week before we do the FLC. Battle Quest, right? Um, this is a book that a lot of people are not tracking. It's freaking beautiful. They've got a great crew over there. Um, Trident of Aurelia Corazon, number one. The cover A Lockwood. Just a weirdly disgusting but sexy mermaid.
Hell yeah. Specking up, fucking, specking up, fucking.
It's not Zenoscope quite yet, but it's got some interesting color and freaking costume freaking type choices. Um, Not sold at PRH or Lunar, sold out at Midtown and very low at Diamond. And once again, some of this data was since Thursday, so if it is sold out by now, that's why it is because some of my data is a little late. From Ahoy Comics, yeah, that freaking Toxic Avenger with old boy freaking pissing at the pisser and old boy freaking taking a freaking peek at his fucking junk. Sold out everywhere except for Diamond, which has had a freaking which is low right now.
Yeah, the that book is a nice wraparound. It had a nice back cover on it when I picked it up, and
From Archie Comics, Jughead superhero special. Got Jughead in a freaking superhero type freaking outfit. Sold out everywhere except for Diamond, which has got it freaking low.
Oh wow! You know what? I don't know how I missed that one.
A lot of people missed it, right?
Yeah,
And of course, a lot of stores don't even carry it, right? Um, Also, people miss Betty and Veronica, Friends, Forever Spy.
yeah.
There's two covers for
I'm
this
not
one.
surprised that sold out.
Yeah. So here's the deal. It didn't sell out at Midtown, right? The last I checked, it did not sell out at Midtown.
let's
It
see.
was blinking in and out, but it has the first appearance of Medusa Do. Low
Mm.
at Diamond, right? Did not sell out at Midtown. People were not freaking tracking what's going on with that one. Uh, the cover B, however, did sell out at Diamond, right? But it's still in stock at freaking Midtown. So you guys, if you guys are interested in just having great freaking Archie, because look, let's not pretend freaking Archie ain't doing nothing now. They've had a freaking couple of they've had a couple of freaking TV series, right? They've had freaking the Archie freaking TV series, which was crazy.
They had Riverdale. They had the Archies on Netflix.
What's the name of the witch? Sabrina, right?
Yeah,
Sabrina the witch,
Chilling
right?
Tales of
So,
Sabrina. Uh, there's rumors that I think they're doing something else eventually. Uh,
so
they're gonna be blowing up with a major crossover in July with Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob. So you know, don't underestimate Archie.
yeah. Shout out, give a shout out to Universe X and Mojo Quid. How's it going,
Roger
folks?
Quid.
All right, let's move on to Boom. Oh, nothing for Boom that caught my eye. How about Dynamite? Yep. Sexy fucking what's his name? Captain Planet.
Okay.
Everywhere except for Diamond, which had it low. That was the Mark Spears variant.
Yep.
Terminator number 6 had some interesting sales. The cover G, the metal premium. It was like it looks like the flesh is melting off of the Terminator robot. Then Red Sonya versus Army of Darkness issue number 2. My favorite was the Bjorn Moran's Red Sonya just get into it, just covered in blood. Moving on to Dark Horse Comics. Very interesting on this one. There is very some interesting numbers. Not sold out at Midtown yet. However, just sold out at freaking Diamond. Behemoth number 4. That's what I told you guys about, which was a let's just for me. If I'm looking for a to collect classic horror joints, this one is where I'm at. It's just a
Is the
huge.
best good, Lucas?
It, I have not read it yet. I need to read it. I might try and get to it this week. But this one is the one where it has a huge, gigantic heart, and there's this dude who's just trying to walk up to it, and it's freaking just fucking eerily great freaking coloring on this one. Come on now. And then of course had to keep my eye on this one. Sister Imperator, issue number 3. I did read this one, and it's starting to fall off a little bit. It's starting to fall. It's tough because it's trying to tell you the story, but it's not staying aligned to what kept people's interested in the fucking first place. Um, and once again, this is about a female assassin. Well, she's not a female. She's a female serial killer who's crazy, who's like literally fucking crazy, and she's trying to explain herself, like everything's fucking cool. Um, Still in line at PRH, not at Lunar. Still online at Midtown, despite issue number 1 and number 2 selling out. But however, it is sold out at freaking Diamond. IDW, there was a Godzilla 7th anniversary foil, nothing going. Sonic the Hedgehog, nothing going. Keen Spot. Oh, sold out was Hot Valley Days and Cocaine Nights. keep an eye out on some of these blanks because some of these blanks have absolutely been freaking selling out because look, we're on con season, right? So some of these people are trying to pick these up. They
Excuse me,
have
was
them
it
ready.
just blanks for this?
Yes, there was a blank for Hot Valley Days and Cokie Nights. Very 80s reminiscent. Looks like you could fucking probably snort some coke off of this one. So yeah, this
Awesome
one, yeah,
sauce.
yeah. Also from King Spot, the Chamberlains also had a blank variant, and that one was sold out as well. There was some really great freaking art from this one, and a lot of them were sold out. But the one that was moving was this blank variant. There we go. Chamberlain's number one, cover A, Rob Pryor, as well as the Todd Skull. All right, let's go into what you guys are waiting for. Marvel Comics. Sold out all across the board. Fantastic Four, issue number 5, the 1 in 25, Ryan Brown. Man, this was freaking.
Actually, that was in the top 4 of the Hot 10 last night on House of Stein.
hmm
Yeah, it's definitely fire.
Yeah, we told people about that, and I tell people I hate facsimiles. I hate it even more when they try and do an incentive off this one. But you know what? This one was actually pretty
I'm gonna
freaking
give
good.
the devil their due. This is
Yeah.
actually not too shabby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Lucas. When it comes to
As much as I
facsimile
hate the concept
incentives,
of
I
125
think
for
that
these reprints,
look, they should be picked up every time you see them, bro. So, let's just be honest. Damn near every one of these facsimile incentives has sold out and isn't easy to find after they do. You know what I mean? So, unless you want to go to eBay and pay some ridiculous price, I'd suggest people get on those ahead of time because I buy them every time I see them because I've started a little collection of every single one. But like I said, they're extremely hard to obtain later on because some shops don't, order all those fucking facsimiles. If the people aren't ordering it, then some of these are definitely underprinted and underordered.
and
So
how many in today's economy, how many of the smaller shops are ordering 25 copies of a facsimile too?
yep.
Even if they are ordering just the cover A.
Yeah, and we're not talking about books like ASM 300 or Wolverine 1,
Yeah,
because those
this
have
is a
incentives on
reprint
them
of
too. But those are also worth picking up. But I'm just saying, like, some of these more basic issue facsimiles have great covers. Some of these books have nice little keys in it still, whether,
hmm
it's a facsimile or not. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's this issue or the next issue, but it's the Council of Dooms actually in this issue, if I'm not mistaken. Is this number 6? Because if it's number 6, and I think it is, yeah, that's the first appearance of the Council of Dooms. So,
Mm.
there's a nice little tidbit on why this book probably sold out as well, because people probably know that, we have a good chance of seeing different, councils. If not Doom, probably Reed, but just in general.
Yeah. So two different perspectives. Universe X says, "Hey, I'm now kicking myself for not getting it, being a Doom fan." But then T Jones says, "Well, they can keep those facsimiles. I don't want them. Doesn't want to have anything to do with them." So,
I respect
Gwenpool,
both opinions.
yeah, Gwenpool, this gray. Actually, this is not the Gray Land. I forget which one this one is. Um, Kind of weird across the board. People weren't really feeling it because oh my god.
I'm gonna be honest. 'Cause I read this about 2 hours ago. I was expecting them wanting to be wiping my ass with the book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for the wackiness.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept to bring back the original Gwen Stacy as this dark Gwenpool, but it just the wackiness of the entire issue. You know, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene with Jeff the Land Shark that made me laugh out loud. It still has the feel of the original Gwenpool series in some way, shape, or form. Just maybe on 10. A lot more entertaining than I was giving it credit for at first. When I first heard that they were going to do the unthinkable and bring back the OG dead Gwen Stacy.
Mm, okay. Sold out at Penguin, which is the actual distributor. Not sold at Lunar. Still just kicking around at Midtown, but low at Diamond. And then for the Jing Hung Lee version cover, sold out across the freaking board. That
Not
one was pretty
surprised.
good. One World Under Doom, issue number 4, that covered the RB Silva cover. Still kicking around at PRH. Sold out at Midtown and low at Diamond. This one was a pretty good fucking cover. Dormammu with his with fucking Doom just getting choked the fuck out. Nice pop of fucking color. Nice freaking concept. I just freaking like this cover too. But for $4.99, we'll see how this stays. Then there was two other pretty good freaking covers. Um, the one with the Doom in a crystal ball and Dormammu just holding that fucking ball up. That one was sold out at PRH. In fact, let me make sure people can see this shit. Sold out at PRH and Lunar, but still in stock at Midtown and Diamond. And then there was a great, I forget, is that Delado or is that freaking
That's
Gist?
that's out of your nose.
Yeah, Adi Granov. Sold out at once again sold out at PRH Penguin, but still in stock at Midtown and freaking Diamond when I freaking last checked. Um, Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 33 had some weirdness going on because the 1 to 25 came out this past week, but the other actual issues, the qualifiers, some of them still just haven't freaking come out and it's supposed to come out this past Wednesday. Weird, freaking weird. Of course, it's in stock at PRH, but sold out at Midtown, low at Diamond, that 1 to 25. And then the I think people were kind of interested in it because there was supposed to be a new character in it. Her name was Powerlift. However, that's not really her first really first appearance. Her name was because this comes from like Doctor
Uh,
Keisha. Sorry, what's that, Adam?
yeah, this character's been around for a while.
Yeah. Um. So it was just now revealed that she has powers, but once again, like you said, character's been around for a while. I forget what
But I mean,
issue
let's
number.
just say, as far as a read, this was a very entertaining issue in the guts.
Yeah, it is because Miles Morales just got freaking challenged to a god off.
Yep.
No, and with him and Nancy on one side, which I've always wanted them to come back to. I've always wanted them to come back to what's going on with Miles Morales and Nancy as the Avatar, and kind of develop what the heck that actually freaking means. But they just keep shying away from that, right? Um, Especially because there was like every some of the writers were trying to throw some shade on. Hey, Miles Morales was always kind of depressed because he was always kind of under the shadow of Peter Parker. Like, well, bitch, develop this whole Nancy, because Nancy, of course, is the African god spider and everything, and yeah, develop that shit out. Um, because we know we're not going to get that shit in freaking the Neil Gaiman fucking thing. That shit's a wrap right now because of all the allocations against Neil Gaiman right now. So yeah, freaking bring up Nancy, develop that shit out, and see where it goes. Spidey Hunter, what's going on? Says, "You're what's good, Drunken Chat." Well, come on, bitch. You fucking got the link
Yeah,
and
man.
Instagram.
Don't be
Come on,
shy.
come on in.
The water's warm. Come on in, bitch. Come testify.
Excuse me. Star Wars Jedi Knights issue number 3. Weird data as well. People wanted to read the issue, but we were kind of unsure across the board which ones we wanted. Um, the Cover C variant Lauren Torn lightsaber, that one was freaking sold out. And of course, there is also one on 100 for that one as well. People were unsure about the Raza, which was really freaking good. Sold out at PRH, but in stock at Midtown and Diamond. Maybe, and I don't know whether it's because they bought a lot, but there was no indication that they had bought so many. Raymond Rosas, the Ramon Rosas, however, was sold out at Midtown, but it's still in stock at PRH. So that's kind of interesting. So that's why I just can't tell what the fuck is going on. But I have been enjoying the Jedi Knights so far. Um, these animation covers for X Men have been doing pretty well as well. Still in stock at PRH, but sold out in Midtown. This one is the one with Rogue and Gambit on the freaking cover.
All right.
Yeah, reminiscent of the '97 freaking covers. Pretty good freaking cover.
That's a
Other,
nice that's a nice cover to have for convention season or a signature series for the voice cast.
hmm the Uncanny X-Men issue number 14, cover C, the Lady Henrietta cover. Um, sold out at Midtown, but still in stock at PRH and Diamond. We'll see how that develops out. But there was also I think it was a 1 to 50 for this one. X Factor issue number 10. I forget what was going on with this one, but this one was sold out at Midtown, sold out at PRH, but still in stock at Diamond, just kind of low. So there may be a chance that if you want this one, that your retailer can get it. And Godzilla X Men, just like Mel predicted, if you put some Japanese lettering on it, people are gonna freaking love it. Sold out across the board. PRH gone, Midtown gone, Diamond gone. So this was not the best cover. There was actually a great freaking cover with Godzilla fighting UFOs. I thought that one was amazing, but this one was the one that people freaking wanted. X Men versus Godzilla.
It's fucking X-Men, bro.
Oni Press. Mine is a long, lonesome grave. Um, sold out everywhere except for freaking Diamond. For DC, man, freaking this one was a really freaking great cover for Fire and Ice when Hell Freezes Over. Issue number 2, not sold out in Midtown, but at the other retailer, at the other distributors, kind of sold out. This is the one where it's half fire, half ice. Kind of an interesting concept art. Don't know why they're holding the fireballs up to their tits and everything, but all right, still pretty
I
good
don't know. They
cover.
need to be careful, man. You don't want to singe your titties. Specking out titties. Specking out titties. Specking out titties. Titties. Yeah. Titties.
All right, let's go with Image Comics. We just had a big freaking talk about this one. Tell me, what is the status of Battle Beast, the Battle Beast blind bags on Midtown? Did it sell out yet?
Nah, but they were just piecing them out. You know, they could have fucking 100 left, but they're only allowing people to buy one. You
Mm,
know, so they're piecing these bitches out, whatever they got left, and so is everybody else, pretty much.
yeah.
So
So what you're saying is it would behoove you that if you got them, don't piece them out. Just freaking grab the money and fucking run before Midtown gets tired of looking at that. You probably got boxes and boxes of boxes. So get your shit out before they get tired of looking at that shit, and then start selling that shit for like $1 a piece. I mean, Spawn issue number 364, just a freaking great freaking piece of art. Not sold out. Sold out at Lunar, not sold out at Midtown. King Spawn number 45, same deal. People that shop at Midtown just not feeling it. Not sure why my boy Spawn is fucking tearing his face apart. Let me tell you about this cover, this fucking book right here, this Exquisite Corpse, issue number 1. I got to fucking read it, and let me tell you, it's got something to it. It's got something to it. Um, it's about a game run by rich people, so think suicide, not suicide, Squid Game,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But the Squid Game contestants are actually recruited by the rich people. And yeah, the contestants have to kill each other, but they're not just on this island or anything. They're actually inside a living, working, freaking village town of people that are just trying to live their lives, right? So they don't know who the other contestants are, right? All they know is that there's 13 other or 12 other freaking contestants, right? And the game doesn't end until all the other 12 contestants are freaking dead. Um, Freaking great stuff. I love the way they freaking revealed it. Um, Not everybody got their covers on time. Like I think I got my 1 in 25 for a customer, and already sent that out. But the other ones, the qualifiers, just arrived today, which is kind of freaking crazy. Universal Access picked that up today because my boy Chris said it was dope. Still gotta read it though. Yeah, it was Squiz Corpse, really freaking great. The Jay Lee 1 in 75, still going for cheap on eBay. Um, some people have come up with crazy prices so far, but it's still freaking pretty cheap. Um, there's a bunch of movie concepts that are coming out just like this, where it's hey, there's a game and people got to kill each other and everything. But this one has got some mustard to it. I really freaking like this one. They're excuse me, my God, I'm fucking disgusting political. They're showing more from the rich people side, the people that are running the games than anything else, and I appreciated that one. And it's got some sus to it, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine that they're gonna do something with that, bro. All I can think of is like a
Yeah,
John Wick
this has
style
TV
film.
development written all over it for me.
Yeah, I can see
But can we
definitely
make these games?
if
Hold
it's
up,
a
Adam.
John Wick style, some type of series maybe. I think that would be dope. Just because the concept alone, screams some John Wick shit to me.
It. I see what you're saying, but it feels way more developed than that. Like this was like way because each of the contestants has their own little world and their own little what do you call it, personality, right? And that personality dwells into the way they freaking kill, which is the reason why they were picked. Um, so I think this is going to be again it all depends. I think this is going to be way better than if they do it right. This could be way better than Wick. This could be a freaking whole franchise, right?
Excuse me,
Um,
Lucas.
but yeah, let's see if anybody picks this.
Hunger Games.
Let's see if somebody can do this right. I do
Mustard
like
good?
mustard from Chad Cave, and I can smell that Lucas GD. Not sure what that means.
Excuse me, Lucas.
Energon Universe issue number 1 sold out at PRH. That sold by PRH. Sold out at Lunar though. Still in stock at Midtown. I can tell people there's a lot of Easter eggs on this one. And sold out at Diamond. The burp. Geiger, we can do it. A homage to the We Can Do It girl. Was it Rosie the Riveter? That was her name. Geiger issue number 14. What we got? Freaking sold out at PRH. That's sold out at PRH. Sold out at Lunar. Still going on in Midtown, but sold out at freaking Diamond.
Yeah, I picked a couple of these up. It just looks dope.
I would definitely be disappointed if Image didn't get their shit together and did something with Redcoat, Geiger, and I think that was pretty good though. World Tree. This one is once again if you're looking for a horror type freaking that could be a classic years from now. This one is a freaking good one. Old girl butt naked crawling out of another girl's freaking mouth. Um, there's all types of slimy gooiness going on. Sold out everywhere. Sold out everywhere. Yep, sold out everywhere. Doesn't matter whether it's Lunar, Midtown, or Diamond. This motherfucker was sold the fuck out.
Excuse me, Lucas.
So one of those under the radar that people actually fucking wanted. New releases. Well, we're not gonna go into new releases yet. Freaking. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk into before? Yep, Universe X sees my vision. He knows what I'm talking about. Freaking yeah, it was freaking great, freaking joint. What the fuck was that? Man, I freaking had. A actually, let's try this one. See if I can get the shit set up.
Hi, do you like comic books but don't know where to start? Or maybe you don't know which superhero to start out with. That's where I can help you. Question: do you like vigilante orphans, lurking in the dark, secret hiding spots, and hanging out with a little kid? Well then you'll love Batman. Or do you like alien immigrants, conditional stigmatism, pretending you're someone you're not, and capes? Then you'll like Superman, Man of Steel. Or maybe you like radioactive.
All right, that's enough of that. Um,
Lucas, what was that?
so I am very proud to promote some of these books from some of these folks that we know and have been grinding away for a while. I had recommended to people and or letting people know about this little company called ASAP Imagination, right? ASAP Imagination. They have been grinding since just a little bit before fucking COVID. Um, and I'm very proud to announce that they have a Kickstarter because they are ready to start filming a very short film called The Conversation that is based on one of their characters, right? Um, don't need a lot, but it is British UK freaking based, which means that to shoot the film is actually going to be a lot cheaper than it would be here in the United States. The list says a year after a poor paranormal and catastrophic event that changed London forever, heroes have fallen, people are missing, and a corrupt organization is pulling strings behind the scenes, pulling a curtain in front of the public's eyes. There you go, everybody. The Conversation. Great, some great art to include. This is the Dead of the Night #1, which is when I pulled here on the show all those years ago. Um, it's going to be produced and directed by Bad Mosquito Films. There's our boy Sonny Mahajalovich. Kieran Christopher Donnelly has been cast as the Dead Knight. Have no idea who this motherfucker is, but we'll see if we get him on the show. Only thing that I don't like is they showed us some photos of the helmets for the superhero, and it looks a little too much like Darkhawk. So I haven't gotten a chance to talk to the motherfucker yet about it. But yeah, there we go. So Kickstarters can get a digital copy of the movie plus a DVD copy. There's some posters. Also for the digital movie, if you pitch in about £80, don't know what that is in dollars, um, on one of the digital copies, you could actually get your face or a photo of you on your digital movie freaking copy. I don't know where you're gonna fucking play it. I don't know anybody over the age of uh or yeah under the age of 50 or 60 that still has a freaking DVD anywhere. Uh, and for some reason they don't also do on VHS copies. So I'm gonna need to talk to that brother and see what the hell is going on with that. But here we are, freaking. I think, yeah. So once again, if you can go ahead, if you can go ahead and help those brothers out, whether it be $1 or freaking 15 cents, I think that would be freaking amazing. Let's see. Now let's see if we can get into some FOC stuff, man. I just gotta freaking find it. Let's see. Oh, let's play some coffin music.
Hey everybody, remember this? Malibu Sun #8. This is the first time Evil Ernie ever appeared on a cover, and this was, gosh, what, 2 months before he ever came out. Remember it and enjoy it.
Here we go. Structured chat, sun notes. So you went to get something to drink, Chris. What did you end up getting, man?
Red Bull, bro. I
Oh, that's it.
Red Bulls
Red Bull
constantly,
gives the
dude.
body
When I
wind.
do drink, I drink Jameson. You know, I like my Irish whiskeys.
You need to try some of that Buchanan's, man. The James Buchanan's, good stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm more of a smoker now than I think I am a drinker, but you know, every now and then, there's a few on here for FOC that there's definitely worth picking up. I would definitely get ahead of them, you know, and order that shit now because later on it may be a little tougher to get, but I think some of the retailers will buy a nice little chunk of some of these.
Hmm.
Um, Absolute Batman's one of them, but we'll talk about all that when we get to them.
Goddamn computer's going fucking haywire.
Really? Your computer, so it's not just
Try to
mine?
do everything except for what I wanted to do.
Button, click here to disable your camera. Button, click here to open settings. Clickable button, click here to mute your microphone.
Yeah, I'm not muted, am I?
Nope. No, you're not.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure because my computer's been acting weird on it, and I do apologize.
I guess we could just go with that for right now. That affects itself. All right, so there's nothing by Ablaze, nothing by Ahoy right now. You. Let's see. Amp is a new comic book freaking distributor, not distributor, excuse me, publisher, and they have a new one that I'm kind of interested in. It's about it's called Never Wars, right? Never Wars, and it's about a war in between the land of Peter Pan and Wizard of Oz, right?
Nice.
Um, and it's not like fantasy wars like Harry Potter shit. It's like World War One type shit, right?
Oh
Where
wow.
they don't have because they don't have technology and shit, right? They kind of got magic, but you got to get close enough to actually do the fucking magic. So we're talking about trench warfare type shit with magical fucking beings. Um, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, she's back into this land, but she's a nurse. So she's got to triage these motherfuckers that have just gotten their fucking legs cut off by magic, right? So it's kind of fucking brutal, man. And there's Never Wars Dorothy, there's Never Wars Peter Pan. It's all types of crazy stuff. And I've read a couple pages so far, and it's not bad, man. It's not bad at all, man. I'm kind of freaking
I'm
liking it.
sold. You sold me just on the concept of Peter Pan versus Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, man, it's weird, man. So, um, it could definitely be something, right? They would have to get the licensing and everything, but it could definitely be something. I'm definitely fucking feeling it.
It definitely has. You remember that book Peter Panzerfaust from back in the day?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, say again now.
Remember that Peter Pan versus Nazis book from back in the day?
I do not. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's called Peter Panzerfaust. It was a big book back in the early like 2010s from Image Comics. Uh, and it kind of has
What?
that type of vibe to it. This sounds awesome.
Weird. Okay. You Motherfuckers out here just writing anything nowadays, I guess. All right. Moving on to Archie. There's the Archie Halfway to Halloween
Okay, not
with
yet.
Archie as Dracula, um, Betty as a witch, and Veronica as Frankenstein's bride. Um, AWA, for those that are not tracking, there's a series called Kill or Be Killed, and they're definitely trying to do something with that. And then this one was a Mel Vaughn favorite. It's called They Choose Violence. They've got some black exploitation homages, which look absolutely fucking fantastic, just freaking beautiful. And then there's a Raza variant, which looks freaking good too. No incentives. No incentives for this one. Um, the solicitor says that there are three HBCU besties turned out to be professional career women enraged by the systemic injustice plaguing their community that band together to form a vigilante squad that targets white supremacists deemed to have circumvented the justice system and got away with protected murder. Serving up grisly justice in increasingly creative ways, the vigilante possum becomes front page news while always staying one step ahead of the law. Now it's liberating, it's addictive, and it's kind of fun until a copycat killer emerges whose signature contains a special message to them. They choose violence as what happens when you go down a dark, unforgiving road of revenge, and what happens when the only path forward is escalation. There's no turning back for anyone. Now that's fucking amazing. That's one. That's going to be a must read for me. Um, kind of like I like that. It's not about HBU besties killing, but when you talk about there's a copycat killer, now you got my freaking interest peaked.
The A cover
Uh,
looks super dope by Raza.
it does, but in fact, he has a cover B as well. That one's freaking dope as well. Let's see by Boom. Some of the same stuff that we've been talking about for a while. They just keep pushing some of the stuff back to include In Bloom #5, some Army War stuff. Dynamite, they just went crazy grand. I don't know why they still think people are people buying Zootopia shit. I don't know what the fuck.
I haven't seen anybody post any of that shit, but I'll be honest with you. I kind of think that'll be one of those books that people, if they are buying it, I don't think they're talking much about it, dude. I think it's just like on some collector's Disney type vibe type shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they make a movie about it and now they're doing a comic?
Hmm. Yeah,
Right. So
I wasn't even tracking that it was that freaking famous as a freaking cartoon, right?
yeah, and on top of that, dude, I just feel like some of these runs that are like this, are gonna later be sought after because some of the kids that's growing up now, these are their movies, so you know, if they ever decide to get in comics, some people like to go back and buy pieces of their childhood and shit they remember. So, this is to me, that's how I view this book, which is why I would pick it up and just hold it. But, just in general,
Yeah. Universe X says Silverhawk. He likes Silverhawk, and Universe X says, "Yep, he likes to drink Buchanan, Jameson, and Maker's Mark."
What's the last one?
Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark.
Never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah.
They kind of got a thing where it's an okay whiskey, but they got kind of thing where there are people that are because the end of it they still use like candle wax. I don't think it's candle wax. I forget what kind of wax it is, but people are out there actively looking for these like little errors because sometimes the employee puts the candle thing puts the bottle too far into the wax, so it comes out with this like really huge fucked up freaking top and everything. So it's kind of a thing. Flash 100-yard dash. The stuff in the DMV is maybe the best animated scene I've ever seen. It is fucking hysterical. So if they're going doing this, I mean, because there's another great one that's about to come out called bad guys, right? About these animals that are bad guys, but now they're trying to be the freaking good guys. That's going to be. I would have thought they would have tried to do comic books on that versus Zootopia again. And then here we go with Dynamite. There's a Josh Middleton. There's some Spears. There's a Ben Oliver coming out. Thundercats and the Power Girls issue number 1.
Yep.
Here's gonna show. Kind of interesting now after they've had the free comic book day to see if anybody actually wants to pick these up. But I can say I don't know why, but you got my boy Lionel looking a little zesty. Fucking with those fucking pretty ass eyelashes and his puckered up fucking lips. You know, you know, looking like a like a gay dude who dressed up for Lionel at the fucking Halloween freaking party, man. Just just there trying to look sexy and shit. All right, man. Go ahead, man. But I do will say I do
All
think it's kind of cool. Go
that
ahead.
the A cover.
Yes. I
Okay.
do kind of think it's kind of interesting that the little Powerpuff Girl she gets her own little Thundercat sword.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I thought that's kind of cool.
But overall, dude, I like Paula Ganache. I just don't know what she was doing right here because I'm used to her being like more colorful. I got into her because of her colors that she lays the shit down as.
Hey, she wanted to give Lionel a blowout. I
Yeah,
get
dude,
that.
I
You want to
don't
give him a
understand.
blowout? Go ahead, bitch. Do it.
Yeah,
But
why
why
not?
you trying to make my boy give? Why you puckering his lips like that? He is not ready for battle. He's not ready for battle with that. He's not ready to go head to head with Mummer, right? With those fucking lips and those eyelashes. He's going to get that blowout fucking fucked up. He's going to get those eyelashes torn out of his fucking head. You know, what the fuck? Look, leave it alone, man. Leave it alone, gun show. Oh, but all right. For Dark Horse Comics, um, Star Wars High Republic, really great covers for Stranger Things from Hawkins issue number 2.
Nice.
And Trails of Sister Imperator issue number 4 is coming out. Tramps of the Apocalypse still staying on. Distillery from Distillery Life issue number 5. IDW still some Sonic the Hedgehog stuff out there. Issue number 79. King Spot. Uh, some interesting stuff. We got there's an Elon Musk cover, which is not his first appearance, but JD Vance, who is the vice president right now. I gotta check out if this is his first cover appearance
Most
in a
likely.
freaking comic book. Um, but then they also got Robert R. RFJK Jr. with his shirt off, biting off the fucking head of a fucking dinosaur. Unhinged. They're trying to insinuate that he's unhinged, but whoever drew this is unfucking hinged. What the fuck? It's a great
I'd be
fucking
thankful
cover.
I can't see this fully right now.
Yeah, it's unhinged. I fucking like it, but it's unhinged. I don't think this is having the effect that they want to.
Hey, I'm not against dude. Right now, dude, he's trying to clean up the food and all that shit, and I'm with that shit. So we need that shit, bro. In a lot of these European countries and shit like that, they don't have all that bullshit in their food. So I'm with dude on that shit.
Yeah,
That's about it.
yeah. All right, moving on to Marvel Comics. Doom's Division number 4, The Avengers number 27, Iron Man, Bring on the Bad Guys, Doom number 1, Emma Frost, the White Queen. I don't have all the covers. There's a great freaking Emma Frost cover, but I don't have all of that. Iron
Aw.
Man, Gwenpool, issue number 2. A great Easter egg cover for Spider Verse number 2. Fantastic Four, Amazing Spider-Man number 6. X-Men number 18, a great facsimile cover for Fantastic Four number 49. Weapon X-Men excuse me, Weapon X-Men number 5, as well as X-Men number 18. Some pretty good covers for Psylocke number 8 and Wolverine. Man, they are just going on and on. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, as well as Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, the Chaos Agent number 1. I don't believe I have all the covers, but what is interesting is there's a 1/100 for the Star Wars Dr. Aphra joint, and that's not a normal thing. I tried looking at the solicit to see if I could decipher something that's going on. I could not, but there it is. Um, Power Man Timeless issue number 4, as well as Aliens versus Avengers. Jeff the Land Shark number 1. Look, Jeff the Land Shark number 1 has been on the top 10 a few times within the last 7 or 8 months. Um, Ultimates number 13. And then Bring on the Bad Guys, Doom number 1, as well as that Emma Frost. And yeah, Bring on the Bad Guys. And then there's a couple of Momoko rivals. Godzilla Thor, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. These motherfuckers are just going on. We're just going on and on. Godzilla Thor. Godzilla versus Thor. Quite a few covers. All right, but here are the ones that caught my eye. What is that?
Is there anyone left for God in the Marvel Universe for Godzilla to freaking fight at this point?
Nope. Here we go with Bring on the Bad Guys issue number 1. Great freaking cover. I think is that a Bermejo? Yep, Lee Bermejo. The solicit says an ancient artifact known as the Soul Forge has the power to collect all the souls on Earth. Doctor Doom must stop it at all cost. Who is the mysterious Sister Sorrow, and what is her connection to Doctor Doom? Part 1 of 7 villainous one-shot. So it implies that there's a first appearance in this one, but I'm just not quite sure enough. There is a Leslie Lurie, which has her first cover appearance, as well as a Kevin Eastman, and a Miguel Mercado, and a Mike McCone. And there you go. There's your Lee Bermejo, as well as your Miguel Mercado and your Leslie Lurie. And then there's your Bring on the Bad Guys, Doom number 1. There's your Peace Momoko Marvel Rivals variant. Yep, Universe X is calling it out. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that
What
one.
Universe X say? What's he
Did
calling
we
it?
see a 1 in 25 or anything for that book yet?
I'm sorry for which one? The
Bring on the
this
Bad
Doom book.
Guys, number 1.
Uh, well, there's 1 in 25. No, but this one is a 1 in 10.
What's the 1 in
There's a 1 in 10
25?
and a 1 in 100.
I wonder what the 1 in 100 is. It's probably going to be the lyrics, I would assume.
Yeah, that's a Leslie Lurie. Yep. Um,
1 in 10 is a design variant of probably her as well.
I'm sorry. Say again now.
I said, is the 1 in 10 a design variant? Have you seen it?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is it her design variant?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so those are the 3 pickups right there.
Yep. And here's your 1 in 10. 1 in 10 is done by Alessandria Capuccio. Oh, there is a 1 in 25. 1 in 25 is called Enough Said, and we don't have the cover art for it yet.
Okay.
Emma Frost, The White Queen. Here's a 1 in 25 by Greg Land, and that is the Mountains Are Bountiful. Emma Frost. I don't think I have that one yet. No, I do not. But you guys can check those that art out. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Swaby too. I don't know why. Just the way she's leaned up against the car, kind of like I don't know. Like
Yeah, the 1 in 100.
Yeah.
So I was actually once again No, in the hot 10 notes that I freaking sent you, I was trying to investigate like how many times has one of her covers actually been in the top 10, and
Uh, it's been a while. I think the last one may have been
it hasn't been within the last year.
the Villa Lobos, that Villa Lobos Emma Frost.
Yeah, it hasn't been. I think it's been. No, it's been.
It's been at least 2 years.
Was it
Yeah,
the
it's been a
Archer?
hot little minute.
It may have been the art room for that's the Sinister book maybe.
Yeah. So it's been a hot minute. So people like the concept of her, but buying her covers, people are staying off of that shit. Um, Doom's Division issue number 4. There's a Ricky Yagawa as well as a Ron Lim that we don't have the cover for yet. The Avengers. The one I got my eye on are these Renius and Ferb covers. They're just regular qualifiers, but
With their open order.
they're open order. There's a Lucio Vecchio, great fucking storm cover, very reminiscent of the '97 animation. Great freaking cover on this one. Um, I'm trying to see. I don't see if there's an incentive. My shit is fucking blocking it. Hold up. Let's see. Yeah, my shit got cut off. I can't see. All right. Yep. Iron Man number 9. I like the Anandito, but what's kind of driving me nuts is I'm seeing too many of these characters with these Japanese swords running around. Right? Iron Man, he's got rockets and guns and all this shit at his disposal. Why the fuck does he need a sword? Especially a big ass fucking sword like that. What the fuck is going on? I don't know. Then Gwenpool issue number 2. My favorite is going to be the one to the far right. That's the Gerald Burrell. The one in the middle is not bad at all as well because it's Elizabeth Reed and it's got her pulling out the kind of like the Wolverine claw shit, but it's not like it's like one little claw and shit, which is kind of fucked up. But then the one on the left has got me puzzled as well because now it's giving her Richard Reed's powers, where she's like stretched out and fucking tied my boy down.
Yeah, her body stretch,
Yeah.
like every part.
And so here's the crazy thing. He's 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 trying to punch her dead in the gut, but his knee is weirdly in her pussy.
Testify.
If you look at it and,
Motherfucker.
and draw your eyes, she's got him tied down and he's trying to punch her, but he's trying to knee her at the same time, and her and his knees in a
I told
weird
you
fucking
every part of
place.
her body stretches,
It's
man.
weird. It's weird.
Speaking of fucking.
No, there ain't no fucking on this one. Just weird.
Apparently,
Just weird S&M fucking tying down shit. All right, Spider.
That's good too.
All right, the Easter egg cover of the week is going to be Spider-Verse versus Venomverse. As Venom pulls through this freaking window, this whatever the fuck is going on in this cover has nothing to do with the story. Again, we talked about that there's a weird game in between Nancy Miles Morales and um, Ares, right? And there's the game is you gotta. It's like capture the flag. It's literally capture the flag. There's like 7 rounds, and it's like capture the flag. Excuse me. At the end of the round, by the end of the round, you gotta capture the flag. You gotta get to one of your pillars, right? If you're not on at the fucking pillar at the end of the round, you fucking disappear, right? If your whole freaking team loses the whole game, all of your kind will disappear. So if the spiders lose, all the spider people are going to freaking disappear. If the venom people lose, all of the Venoms gonna and all over the freaking cosmic universe are gonna fucking disappear. So there's high stakes on this one. Um, and so far it's pretty good. Spider-Verse versus Venomverse issue number 1. There was a first appearance of a character. Um, I think we know his name, but I forget what his freaking name is yet. He says, "Fuck it, I don't even want to fucking play this. Just send me the fuck back." He doesn't give a fuck. All right, great. Um, but no, we'll see. But it's actually pretty good. They start battling it, fighting it out right now. Baron Darren Baptiste says Gwenpool got stretched out. Yes, sir.
Yep, yep, yep.
Stretched out like a 46-year-old freaking mom of three. Amazing Spider-Man. There's a Gleb Milenkov Black Cat. It's a I. It's a he tried variant. He tried, and I kind of like that he tried. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I'm not. It's not a freaking cover, but it's one of those. I like it. Um, but that's about it. I think that's the only one that I like. We're still missing the John Romita Jr. as well as the Damon Scott cover, but there is a Marvel Rivals cover by Peach Momoko. Not sure who the person is on the cover. Fantastic Four fanfare. Um, this list says in the story, Mark Buckingham tells the story of two of Doctor Doom's underlings who have been made responsible for the master killer robot, the Seeker. And then there's the Fantastic Four 49 facsimile edition. The one I like is the Mike Mayhew. It really gives a scale as to how large um, Galactus is in comparison to the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is about the size of two of his eyes. That's about it. Maybe about the size of his nose.
That is pretty
Maybe.
sweet.
Right?
Yeah, I need one of these for sure.
And it's 125. So
Yeah, I need one of
to
these
work.
125s for sure. I'm gonna pick up about four of the regular facsimiles too, though, just because.
This one I've had an eye on for a while. X Men number 18 got Magneto sitting in Cerebus. Um, I kind of want to know what the fuck is going on with that one. Then you've got the bad side of magic on a cover of the Corin Howell cover. Love the fucking color. Love the way it freaking pops. You know, love what they're insinuating with this one. And I believe, yep, this one is a 1 in 50 version as well for that one.
Definitely a pickup too. That thing is fire.
Weapon X-Men. A lot of characters that I'm just not sure who they fucking are on the cover A. Then Psylocke. There's a Puppeteer Psylocke variant, and then as well as a version 1 in 50. I think the cover A is pretty damn good, man. Is if there is a scary ass fucking cover of the week, that one's it, man. Freaking as Psylocke is separating for her sub psyche. So maybe they're trying to insinuate that there's no character coming out of her. I think that's what they're trying to imply on this one.
Yeah, but let's keep it real. That Puppeteer Lee is fire.
It
It's
is.
so fucking nice. I like it a lot. I definitely need the 1 in 50 on this.
Wolverine issue number 10. There's a Greg Land. And then I don't hate the cover A on this one. That one's by Martin Coccolo. Then there's the West Coast Avengers number 8. There's cover A. I forget who did the art on this one. I think it was Ben Harvey. But the one on the right, that's the Godtail one. And trust me, I respect Godtail. Love some of his fucking work. But this is the Bukaki variant for me, right? Got my boy.
You know what?
Yeah. They're trying to. I think they were trying to go for like, hey, he's covered in spider webs or some shit like that, but he just looks like he's covered in
Copy.
bukkake. Yeah, white liquid,
Mhm.
all
Yep.
over the system. Yeah, it's weird.
And it's Spider-Man White, Town Red.
This fucking. I believe this cover is David Parator, right? That motherfucker is nice too.
Yes. Moon Knight's Fist of Nanshu number 9. I don't know the name of this fucking character, but yeah, he's putting his fucking the tip of his toe of his fucking boot on Moon Knight's fucking back in the fucking rain. Great fucking cover. Did we talk about this before? There's this the Doctor Afra Chaos Agent. There's a 1 in 100. Looks like this one is kind of a homage to the Black Cat. Excuse me, not Black Cat.
Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman issue number 50 by Adam Hughes, but this one is by Sarah Pacelli. There's a 1 in 25 trade dress and a 1 in 100. Then Power Man Timeless. There's your Alex Ross, as well as, and let me read the solicit. As Aeon prepares for his assault on Earth, Power Man must consider unleashing the final power available to him in the darkness of the void. But as Luke Cage trading one monster for another, so right there on the fucking cover, Luke Cage is fighting a version of himself that comes from the void. Aliens versus Avengers, freaking Wolverine trying to fight Avengers. I gotta have it. Gotta read it. I gotta fucking read it. Jeff the Land Shark. Great freaking covers, man. There's a
Rod.
Googaree, some Art Germ, Ricky Yagua, and Ted Knock. There's a blank variant for this one as well, that Ricky Yagua foil. And then there is the Fuji variant. And then that Art Germ Virgin is going to be a 1 in 100. Godzilla. Godzilla versus Thor. My fucking goodness. I don't hate any of these covers. I love all these fucking covers. All these covers are fucking amazing.
I hope the story's good too.
Eh, I don't think I care. The one that was in the middle, that was by E.M. Just, and the one on the right was by, who was it by? Lee Garbet. That's the movie poster, old 50s movie poster type joint.
Nice.
And then the other one on the far left, that one's by Mutsuhiro Arita. They all look fucking good. The one on the far right, that is a 1 in 25 by Clayton Crane. And the one on the far left, that is a 1 in 100 by Walter Simonson. Oni Press. EC Blood Type by Mercado. And here's Dark Regards. I like the 1 in 20. Don't know what the fuck is going on. It's kind of implying something's going on. But yeah, there's your Blood Type foil. There's a regular Mercado and then there's a foil Mercado. And then there's a Madame Bezzery type variant homage, which is a 1 in 50. Conan.
On that shit though. That shit's super nice. I don't know why. I just like it because it looks like she just got done like feeding on dude, got his guts all out and shit. It's fucking dope, and I like how they got the eyes in the background.
Good stuff. Conan the Barbarian, Panosian. Fucking Panosian still doing good stuff. I love the Conan the Barbarian, the one in the middle. I think that's a Federici. And then the one on the far right, the Gin Giordano variant, still is fire as well. Now I don't even fuck with Conan like that. DC. Trinity's got a book coming out, still staying on it with Absolute Batman. Supergirl issue number 2. I'm very surprised that people have not been picking up on Supergirl number 1, which has a first appearance of a new Supergirl. Very shocked, right? Or maybe people just haven't read it.
I say give it time.
There is, for Supergirl, there is a Art Germ, Sophie Campbell, Sawi, 125 by Talaski. Action Comics 1087 with Superboy on the cover has Leslie Lurie, David Lasky, and we'll get to those. Aquaman number 6 is going to come out. Batman and Robin and Batman, Fire and Ice, Batman Dark Patterns #7. That's the one I needed to fucking read this week. I still haven't gotten around to it. But I've heard a lot of people are having interest in the DC X Sonic #1, the third printing. That's going to be the one with Sonic dressed as Batman.
I think that's Shadow, bro.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it's
Shadow.
gonna be
Is it
Shadow.
Shadow? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because the red eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, because Sonic is the Flash, and then
Yep.
there's other characters too. Because I know Green Lantern will be in like maybe this issue or the next issue. I think it was on this one that came out this week. There's a Green Lantern hedgehog too, and kind of like a Wonder Woman hedgehog, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mm.
I
there's
think on the road these are going to do really well as sets.
yeah, especially this one. This is
Yeah,
fucking
this is
dope.
going to be a wall book throughout the entire. When it comes out, this will be a wall book for the entire convention season.
There's your, excuse me, there's your Trinity Wonder Woman joint.
I like the Larry. That motherfucker is dope. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this will be her first solo run as well.
Yep.
So
I don't.
I don't count that Trinity book. I feel like
Okay,
that was a one shot. So this is her first
run.
This
run.
is our first solo series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for anyone who wants to count the one shot as our first solo whatever, but this is definitely the first solo series is how I would count it.
Yeah.
But that's
The one in the middle, that's your 1 in 25, cover G, and then the one on the far left, torso, that's your 1 in 50. Absolute fucking Batman, bar none. Look, the one on the left, classic, recognizable. But for my money, the one on the far right, the pink cover type cover, that Gerald Safino. The Gerald Safino, man, is fucking amazing. I fucking love it.
excuse me, is that open order, the Safina?
That is open order. Yep.
Nice. Is this
Not
for
only
number
that,
9, right?
but this
Yes.
fucking dope.
First absolute bane, and this has been causing controversy all over social media since it's been announced. Graham Nolan was crying like a little bitch. Chuck Dixon was crying like a little bitch. They ruined Bane. Just saying the tips of the ruined Bane. It's gonna be awesome, bro.
Chris, you were trying to say something?
No, I was just saying that this is the start of the Abomination arc for this run, and yeah, this will be Bane's first cover appearance, if I'm not mistaken. So it's definitely one to pick up, but I'm definitely gonna pick up both of these, and I don't really give a fuck about that 1 in 25, but we'll see, dude. Because I know it's gonna be Bane's first appearance, right? I hope they don't do one of those fucking cameo things with the book where we don't fucking see him till the very end or some goofy shit like that. So let's definitely pick this shit up.
Yeah. All right. Next is Supergirl #2. There's your damn. Yep. Here we go. Nice. Each one of these covers is freaking amazing. I mean, we're a little played out with the art germs and everything, but still, some of these covers are amazing.
Hey,
Except for the David Talaski, but
who did the one
I
in the
still
middle?
fucks with it. Yeah, the one in the middle is 1 in 25.
Who did it? Do you remember?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, do you know who did it?
David Talaski.
I don't know. I kind of like it, but I'm pretty sure the COE is probably gonna sell out too.
There is. So here's what's really weird. What the fuck? Why does Aquaman look like Doc Strange? But I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a Superman homage type deal because they're doing the Summer of Superman. But this motherfucker looks like Doc Strange right now. It's weird.
Yeah, with that
But
big
it could
ass.
be Marcio Takara. Actually, let me pull back. Yeah. All right, Action Comics 1087. Missing the cover for Ryan Sook and Dan Jurgens Superman movie. There is a 125 Scholar Partridge, but I think the one that's more interesting is the David Slasky, the one of him sitting with Cosmo, as well as the Leslie Lurie. Batman and Robin issue number 22. There is a 125 by Marco Santucci. That's the one on the far right, as well as the one in the middle, which is a Guillaume March. And the one on the left, that's your Juan Ferreira. Fire and Ice when the hell freezes over. Your Forbes, your cover B Forbes. I don't know how to describe it other than they look lesbian as hell, Adam. They're just chilling. They're just chilling in a very lesbian type way. That's all I can say. Batman Dark Patterns issue number 7. It's a cover where Batman just rolled. Looks like he just rolled into a room and realized there's a whole bunch of people that are naked and dead in the fucking room, and they're all got blood all over. So very surreal. And then DC versus Vampires. There is a David Pator. That's one on the freaking left. With is that Raven? Is that her name? Yeah, Raven. And then the one on the right is your Tyler Crook. It's really weird because it's got Dave Batman, and he's got his knuckles up, ready to fight. But there's a whole bunch of vampires in the dark with just a little bitty, red beady eyes behind them. I like it. I like the concept. I even like the way some of the art is put together. I just don't know why there's fucking nut bags under his fucking eyes. What the
Yeah,
fuck is going on with that?
I don't get the nut sacks. I don't know what the
I
fuck
don't,
it is. I don't know. Maybe he put garlic in his mask and he sewed that shit on there. Maybe fucking he put a bread fucking a device or some shit in his nose so he can't fucking smell these motherfuckers. Whatever it could be, I don't understand why dude has nut sacks under his eyes.
Yo. It's fucking weird. Da, da, da. Actually, I think this one was on FOC last week. For Image Fairyland, issue number 41. There is a Loftman Bayalo Fuck Fairyland freaking variant. That's the one on the far left. The one in the middle, that's your Scotty Young 1 in 25 variant. Geiger issue number 15. Cover C, Julia Inez Mamon. This one is if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to look back, but this might be the first time like she's in full like Geiger mode, like she's full glowing woman role. The other ones it was like either her head or the hand or some shit, but it was never like her full on body. Um, and once again, yeah, it's been a good read so far. Golden Rage Mother Knows Best, issue number 3. Some Transformers action for issue number 21. Battle Beast. There's some second prints coming out for the Battle Beast issue number 1. And I believe there was a first appearance in that freaking joint as well, like some prince or something, which would be the guy on the left. I talked about him. That was the first books I talked about today. The Trident of Aurelia Corazon from Battle Quest. Red Morgue, or excuse me, Rue Morgue. And that's it for the FOC. Give me a second while I get set up with the new releases. Selah. Universe X is asking where, and I'm paraphrasing, where the fuck has Zafino been? Where has he been? I've seen him stuff, but he has not been on a top 10 since there was this Hulk #3 book way the fuck back that was like going for like $800. Darren Baptiste is saying that he doesn't think that was Batman on the cover. Maybe it was Wildcat. Maybe, maybe I can see that. I can see that. But motherfucker, still, why the fuck you got nut bags on your fucking eyes? What in the fuck? You know? Uh, maybe fix that before you go out fighting with vampires. Because nuts have fucking blood in that shit too. They'll just go for his fucking face. Hold on, let me make sure I get enough of this special mix for a little bit more of the Scotch whiskey. So we can take us home. All right, here we go with new releases. This is the stuff that's coming out this coming Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. Let's begin. Ooh, I forgot to pull this one. I will fucking pull this before we are out of here. Hopefully, if I can remember. Vampire number 9, number 2. Here we go with The Prodigal Son, issue number 3. I know Mel was talking about this one. Not sold out on PRH yet, but it's still available at Midtown. Not available at Diamond, though. Sold out at Diamond.
I think it's sold out at Midtown too.
Now? Okay. There you go. Get enough people talking about it. Right, here we go with Unbeing, Part 2, issue number 4. A great freaking horror joint. Liver and heart and testicles and veins just all over the place. And right in the middle, a very tortured fucking human being just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. That one not sold out at PRH or in Midtown, sold out at Diamond though. So that's one to keep an eye out on. Epitaphs from the Abyss, a Wednesday looking type character as she is tending to her garden. What's in her garden? Fucking hands and fucking fingers growing out of fucking pots. Just saying. But sometimes you just don't recognize it. I didn't even recognize it at first. What the fuck was going on? I was like, oh, hey, there's a pretty girl. Then I was like, oh, she's gardening. Oh, she's cutting the fucking finger off of a fucking plot or off of a fucking plant. Okay, there you go. And that's from EC Epitaphs from the Abyss, issue number 11, cover B, Citria. Vatican City, issue number 2. It had a fucking great fucking start, right? Um, Sold out at Diamond, good to go at Midtown and PRH though. Here we go. This is one that is going to be a make or break for this whole thing, man. Freaking Mark Spears Monsters, issue number 1. They are now on their 5th print. Love the fucking Dracula. Love the fucking art of him carrying a fucking girl and her freaking nightgown. I especially love the 1 in 20, which is the one on the freaking right, which is the glowing type skull. Missed opportunity. They probably should have made the skull fucking glow in the fucking dark. But still, just great art all around on this one.
Sold out too. That 1 in 20 is gone everywhere.
Yeah. All of it. All of it sold out.
I definitely think people are going to pick up the regular cover too. Just in general, I think people are going to pick that up.
Let's see, where is DE? There we go.
Pretty much every Dracula cover is sold out so far for this shit.
Want to keep an eye out on is Mothra, Queen of Monsters, issue number 3, 1 in 25. Copy of Bills. Great freaking art, colors. Mentions that. Oh yeah, by the way, this is not the old Mothra. This is a new Mothra. This is the first appearance of a new Mothra that's coming out. Archie is Mr. Justice, sold out at, and there's two covers. There's the, um, help me out here, the homage to the Killing Joke. Here
Killing
we go.
Joke, right?
And the other one, I forget who the artist is, but it's got good Archie and bad Archie. There you go. Sold out at PRH and Lunar, still in stock at Midtown last time I checked, but sold out at freaking Diamond. Jim Henson presents issue number 4. There's Unlockable by Mercado, sold out everywhere. This one, I kind of had an interesting feeling about this one. This one is a Terminator dressed as a freaking Nazi. Different covers are selling out on different wavelengths, right? So this one is one to keep an eye out on.
They're sold out. Definitely at Midtown.
Fantastic Four, Torrin Clark, excuse me. And here's your Miles Morales, issue number 33. This one is, once again, the 125 came out last week. This is one of the cauliflowers that's coming out this week. First cover of Powerlift.
And it's sold out.
Oof. Incredible Hulk, issue number 181.
Also sold out.
Irving, issue number 3, The Evil Wizard. There is a naked variant. Star Wars High Republic, Fear of the Jedi. There's a Harvey variant. And for issue number 2, there's your movie type, whatever variant. I forget what they call these. West Coast Avengers, number 7. There's your JTC Negative Space. And then, don't see the numbers moving on this one yet, but look, gotta give it up to them. Thunderbolts, Doomstrike, from One World Under Doom, the Ivan Talavera. It's one thing to make the suit tight, but they gotta make it shiny too. All right, let's do this. All right, for the Superman Unlimited number 1, there was a James Gunn freaking cameo cover. And then the one on the left, there's your Gabriel Deodato with Superman and Cosmo. Hey, do you think that after the Superman movie comes out, that there will be a whole bunch of people trying to get white dogs?
I don't know. We might see an uptick in people adopting dogs, because I mean, even us, dude, it made us want to get a dog. We've been talking about it for a while, but I gotta put these fucking figures in a DTOF cabinet before I do any of that. But yeah, I think people are gonna get dogs, But with the economy shaped up the way it is right now, I don't think people are gonna necessarily jump to do that after this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People will still be picking up dogs, but shit's
Yeah, it
tight
was.
right now.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because I think one thing they mentioned that it was kind of like as the weighing down of COVID was that people during COVID they bought all these fucking dogs, right? God bless the sweet animals that they are. But then when people had to go back to work, they just started turning the dogs in because they couldn't fucking take care of them because they had to go back to work and they just couldn't trust these fucking animals to be by home by themselves. Darren Baptiste says Brian McClain's name is on the 125. Who's that on the left? Sure. Absolute Martian Manhunter number 1. There's a second printing by Javier Rodriguez. And Absolute Green Lantern. There's a second printing by Gerald Perel. Catwoman number 76 has an N-Huck Lee variant cover. Matt Cave has Whatever Happened to the Crimson Justice by Dan Panosian. Great headshot. I don't even like headshots, but this is a fucking great headshot. I'm not even gonna read this shit, but it's a great fucking book. Yep. Curse of Shirley Johnson, issue number 1. I read it, and I'm still trying to figure out. Actually, there are at least 2 first appearances. Can't tell whether these are going to be like huge ass characters later on, but they've got some characters dribbled in there, and that was my last book.
Yeah, I thought that that was gonna be a 1 in 50 because I thought there was gonna be a 1 in 50 on the book, but it actually ended up being a 1 in 100.
Yeah, fuck that book. Fuck 1/100s from now on. Fuck pick that on the fucking slide side after everybody's forgotten about that shit. Not even worry about that. Yeah. All right. It is 12:34 on the East Coast right now. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about, holler at somebody about, mention?
No, dude, we're all good. I think we pretty much covered it all.
Nice. All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. Once again, if you guys need anything clarified, if you guys need help getting any books that are on FLC or in the future, definitely freaking hit Chris and I and Adam up or Mel up, and we'll try and do our best to our freaking abilities. Love you guys. Make sure that you guys understand that these are just funny books. Ain't nothing more important than fucking the bills and your mama and the fucking rent, man. Fuck these books. Love y'all. Have fun and be at peace. Harikari.
For each man his time, his pain, until he walks along the beach and sees his future in the water, along that heart within his reach. I haven't needed a book to want.
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
As you guys know, it is Drunken Chat, son.